Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Good to see everyone again. It's been a little bit since we've done one of these, but we have some exciting news for you. So we thought we would come on here and announce it for you. I have Chris Zurich with me today. I'm sure he's a familiar face to y'all. He's our SAD coordinator for Missouri. Chris, thanks for being here today.
As always, a pleasure.
So Chris has some exciting news about a new program that we are offering through SAD, which is Students Against Destructive Decisions. So Chris, tell us about this triathlon.
Yeah, so we are super excited to bring a brand new initiative and program to the spring semester where we are really focused on some traffic safety initiatives. As I'm sure many of you are aware, some of the riskiest times for youth traffic safety are youth traffic issues arise in the spring. We have students who are worried about tests and are stressed. So maybe they're tired in the evening. So we've got drowsy driving. We have some pillars of the high school experience where students are graduating, they're going to prom. Those are often opportunities where students may find themselves in a situation where somebody's under the influence of alcohol and getting behind a wheel. So we know that there are some really risky times in the spring, and we wanted to bring SAD's programming into the forefront to try to mitigate that risk and encourage schools to promote traffic safety with our youth in 3 different ways: through seatbelt safety, through distracted driving prevention, and through drunk driving prevention. So we have a 3-tiered program that we're calling a triathlon. We joked right before this. This is not a race. You don't have to run here. This is all about traffic safety in your school, and we're excited to bring this toolkit to you live here today. So the Traffic Safety Triathlon is a traffic safety initiative using 3 of SAD's peer education programs. So these peer education programs have students teaching students and working with students to improve traffic safety in your community. The 3 activities that we're focused on in this triathlon are Rock the Belts Quick Click Challenge, the Text Less, Live More, Take the Pledge event, and Is It Worth the Risks skit and community panel. Now we'll break down what these activities are here in just a little bit, and we'll show you where you can find all the resources to make these happen in your school. We have a toolkit that has step-by-step instructions. It tells you all of the objectives of each of our activities, shows you all the supplies you need, and has step-by-step instructions to implementing these in your school, even with some modifications in case this is something that maybe you can't do because your school is small or the way that the timing works out with when your prom is or something. We are able to actually customize that experience a little bit. Now, we're inviting anyone to participate in this, so public and private schools. Now, we certainly want you to be a SAD chapter. We want you to take this program and say, we want to implement the rest of SAD's programming in our school, but anyone is eligible to participate in this program, both public and private high schools. Activities are running right now, and this is live up on our website. We'll show you where that is here at the end of our presentation. But through April the 15th. So you have a period of about 3.5 months to complete these 3 activities. As we go through these, you'll see that some of these are really easy for you to pick up and implement right now if you wanted to. So we know that you'll be able to accomplish these in that time frame. So
We've
let's dive in.
obviously done these too many times because you answered all my questions that I had in the first round. So good job.
That's perfectly fine. Well, I guess that's a good thing here sometimes when we don't have questions, but we'll see what comes up here at the end. So let's break down what the 3 activities that this triathlon is comprised of. The first one is the Quick Click Challenge, and this is part of SAD's core program, Rock the Belt, which is the seatbelt safety program that we use in SAD. Now, with all of the activities that we're sharing with you today, they're a part of SAD's programs, but they're not the entirety of the program. So the Quick Click Challenge is just one activity in Rock the Belt, and that's going to be true for all of our activities in the triathlon. So there's many other things that you can do as a SAD chapter in implementing any of these programs. But the Quick Click Challenge is really focused on seatbelt safety and showing youth how easy it is and how little time it takes to put on your seatbelt every time you get in a car, whether you're the driver or a passenger. So this is a high energy team activity where 4 students rotate through all 4 seats in a car as quick as they can, buckling and unbuckling their seatbelts. It's a great activity that you can do at the lunch hour or before and after school. And because it garners so much excitement and it's high energy, it's a great opportunity to engage the media to show what you're doing to focus on seatbelt safety in your school. As you can see here from the data, with motor vehicle crashes, it's the #1 killer of teens today. So we know that we really need to focus on students putting on their seatbelt no matter the distance that they are traveling, no matter if they're the driver or the passenger. So this activity, super simple, can be done anywhere. All you need is a car and students. Now you'll actually track the times that all of these students are able to complete this challenge, this activity, and then you'll rank those students, and you can do however many awards you'd like, a first place, a first through fifth place in your own local school, your own local community. The next activity is the Text Less, Live More pledge event. Now, Text Less, Live More is our distracted driving and distracted living program for SAD. And one of the biggest elements of this is the Text Less, Live More pledge. This is where we really focus on students committing to not utilizing their cell phones, whether they're talking on the phone, whether they're texting, things that you might not have thought of, like streaming while driving, where students might be watching YouTube or Netflix videos while they're driving, any of those elements that can be distracting to students. So the Text Less, Live More pledge event encourages students to sign a pledge to commit that they will not drive distracted. Now, this is a really simple event to pull off. If you are watching this right now, you could do this tomorrow. This is probably the easiest of our triathlon activities, because all it requires is for you to print off the sign-up sheets and print off information about Text Less, Live More. There are facts about the risks of distracted driving. There's a story, it's called Merit's Story, which is all about the reason Text Less, Live More even came to be, which was a young lady who was killed while she was on her bicycle because a distracted driver picked up their phone. So there is a story that you can share, tons of facts and figures all about Text Less, Live More, and students simply sign a pledge sheet. You can also make these pledge posters so you can hang them up on a big bulletin board in your school. You can really do this however you want, but it's about students understanding the risks and committing to not driving distracted. You can see that according to AAA, 94% of teen drivers know that it's serious. They know it's a risk. 35% of those students still admit that they're doing it. So we definitely know this is an issue. It's a huge issue in Missouri. We've shared with you all recently some distracted driving bills that have been pre-filed in the legislature, really aimed at mitigating the distracted driving issues.
I really like too that it focuses on not just the driver in the car, like with Merit's story, a cyclist, someone walking down the street, something like that. Those are things I don't think that we, even as adults, think about too. So that's good that they point that out as far as distracted driving goes as well.
Certainly, and we know that many of our students might be walking to school. Even in our rural districts, there are many students who do cross the streets and walk to school. So we definitely recognize that it's not just a risk driver to driver, that it's also going to include passengers and other individuals who might be out, or not passengers, pedestrians or other individuals who are out on the street. We are rounding out our triathlon with the Is It Worth the Risk skit and community panel. Now, Is It Worth the Risk is our alcohol awareness program. So this is all going to be focused on students who are driving under the influence, or who are passengers riding with somebody who is under the influence of alcohol. So automobile crashes are the leading death cause for teens, as we kind of shared on the last slide, and about 36% of those are alcohol related. So a little over a third of those are alcohol related. So this is a great opportunity for us to lower that statistic. The Is It Worth the Risk skit and community panel is a two-part activity. SAD provides our chapters and all of you participating in this triathlon with a full script that walks students through an evening party and the consequences of those students who are drinking at that party, even the consequences of what happens to those parents who might have provided that alcohol at the party. So it's a full skit for students to perform, and they actually perform it live. This is a very brief script. It is not something, it's not an hour and a half long show. We're not on Broadway. This can be done by any student in your school, but you can maybe work with your school's theater department to put this show on. It's about a 5 to 10 minute long skit, depending on maybe some of the elements that you choose to add into it. Now, after the skit is done, all of the things that were discussed in the skit are reinforced in a community panel. So you actually invite healthcare professionals and law enforcement and maybe a county judge and medical professional, anybody to join you and actually talk about the consequences of these decisions. What happens to your car's insurance? What's it like when you have to have a stomach pumped? It's like when there's an automobile accident and you have to use the jaws of life. It's all of those elements that really make it very real for the students. So the skit shows basically a scenario, and your community panel supports that with real life discussion about what's happening in your community. Now, this is probably the hardest of our activities to pull off because it does take some coordination, and we knew that going into this. So we have provided a modification for you. Last spring, SAD filmed here in Missouri a car crash docudrama. So if you're not able to put this skit on live, you're actually able to use that docudrama and the corresponding activities to fulfill this element of the triathlon. We know not everybody maybe is in person or can have large gatherings still, so we wanted to give you all that flexibility to have something done virtually if you needed it done. So that flexibility is there for everybody.
Yes, and we also brought in our panelists via Zoom as well. So that's another option because we know of the times that we live in nowadays, and we might not be able to have large gatherings. So utilize their technology as well.
Exactly. So you've got everything that you need there, and even 2 lesson plan activities if you want to work with your students for further education. So lots of elements in the car crash docudrama if you need it, but if you can do live and you can bring those community members in, it's another great media opportunity to have that local news station, radio station, anybody come out and actually show what you're doing in your school. This is also a great activity to coincide right around prom season to make sure that this is something fresh on students' mind and they recognize what those consequences might be. Now, no triathlon would be complete without some recognition opportunities here. So we want to make sure that we are rewarding all of our participating schools and recognizing them. So you have until April 20th to report your participation. Reporting participation is as simple as the event date, the amount of students who participated, and some photos from the event if you have them. So for each 3 elements of the triathlon, that's all you have to turn in. So it's pretty easy to report. You could do it in a matter of a few minutes. We're going to recognize students by MISHA class. So we want all of our rural and urban schools to be on a level playing field here. No matter the size of your school, you can earn recognition. On social media, we'll do 1st and 3rd place in all of our MISHA classes and 1st and 3rd place overall. Now, how are we going to calculate what those are? We're going to take the size of your school and the number of students that have participated in these activities, and we'll do some calculations to show what percentage of your student body actively participated in the triathlon. The higher level of participation, the higher your rank overall. We'll be providing signs for your schools to recognize you as our champions of this program through MISHA class size 1st place and 1 1st place overall. And then all of our participating schools will get a certificate of participation as well. So you'll be able to frame that and put that in your school that you participated in this statewide initiative to improve traffic safety. You can find everything about this program, the comprehensive toolkit, reporting forms, logos, and everything at actmissouri.org/sad/TST, Traffic Safety Triathlon. So all that's available to you online, and it is live now, and we'll have a recording of this presentation up live as well. We hope to see many of our schools across the state of Missouri participating in this comprehensive program focused on seatbelt safety, distracted driving prevention, and drunk driving prevention.
So I just want to reiterate, you said it at the beginning, but a school does not have to be a registered SAD chapter to participate in this, correct?
That is correct. This is open to all of our public and private high schools across the state of Missouri. We certainly encourage you to implement the rest of SAD's programming by joining us as a SAD chapter. And remember, membership for this year in SAD is entirely free. There's never been a better time to join SAD because you can start a chapter and access all of SAD's programs to improve the health and safety of students in your community entirely free of charge. Plus, if you join this year, you can join us in July for the National SAD Conference at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, to network with fellow youth and fellow prevention specialists. So, an excellent opportunity to join us for some live programming this year. But if you're not ready to join SAD this year, that's fine. Take on the Traffic Safety Triathlon, and we'll look forward to getting to work with you to bring a SAD chapter to your school when you are ready.
Yes, and I encourage you to look at our SAB page because we do have all of the programming up there that we offer through SAD as well. So that's a good little carrot for everyone to kind of get an idea of what they could get, like you said, for free to help implement these programs in their school.
Mm-hmm. And what an excellent opportunity for students to talk about what they've done to improve their community, especially your juniors and seniors thinking about colleges, post-secondary, opportunities and scholarships. They're going to ask about community involvement, and SAD's a great way to get those students out involved in the community and making a real impactful difference in the health and safety of our youth.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I'm excited to see all of the implementation that we have done. I'm excited to see all the banners that are going to be going up in the school because I did not realize that we were awarding banners, and we know that all of our schools like to brag about their recognition, so that's exciting, and I'm excited to see what April brings. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course, thank you.
And we are anxiously awaiting all of you guys to start your participation. So get going right now. Thanks for joining us today, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.